All right, people, let's get it. It's Box 101. This is kind of a response, not a response, but a comment on a recent video I seen on from Al Bernstein of the boxing channel. And they were just ranting on about different topics. One of the topics that came up was how would Mayweather fare against the Four Kings? Now, I'd like to start off by saying any true boxing fan that's been following boxing for a long time or been following interviews of Al Bernstein is a Floyd Mayweather skeptic. It doesn't make him biased. I don't think he's biased, or he's just being skeptical of Mayweather. In every chance he gets to, you know, defend his home turf. And when I say home turf, is that a lot of times when you're a product of your generation, you tend to protect that generation. You don't believe anyone before or after was better than that generation. It's just like there's gonna be a lot of writers that's gonna defend Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather, uh, Andre Ward, and Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr. as the best generation ever of boxers, based on the fact that they're just defending their home turf. So I think Albertson does a good job defending his home turf, and he's a big fan of the Four Kings. And the question was asked about how would Mayweather fare against the Four Kings, and he don't think he would fare too well. So this video is gonna be about how I think Mayweather will fare against the Four Kings, and later on I'm making a video about how I think Manny Pacquiao would fare against the Four Kings, because I truly think they're the two great fighters of this generation. You know, and they're the one that the buzz is about at this point. To be honest with you. So let's get to it quickly. When it comes to the Four Kings, of obviously you gotta put Leonard first, followed by Hagler, Hearns, and then Duran. The order is gonna be different for everybody else, but to me, I think Hearns is the best out of all four of those guys. I grew up in Brockton, so I should be biased towards Hagler, but my thing about Hagler is he never went up. He just stayed middleweight. So I don't know how he fares up and down. So yeah, he locked down the middleweight division, that's for sure. But I'm not too impressed with that. He's a great fighter, Hall of Famer. I'm not gonna challenge anything, any accolades anyone give Hagler. I will not challenge, especially the fact that I'm from Brockton. There's no way I'm gonna challenge those. But if you ask me personally, I think he didn't go nowhere. Just at the middleweight, and I'm not impressed by that personally. Duran, and there's a problem I have with most people. Duran is of course a Hall of Fame, of course, and I could go on and on about how good he is. His timing, his strength, his heart. But I have a problem with Hall of Famers that's mostly famous for beating Hall of Famers, for getting beat by Hall of Famers. You know, like I've always been a fan of Eric Morales. I think he has great footwork, great timing, great length. He uses every length of his body when fighting. He seems taller in the ring than he really is, because he sticks a long jab, long. He's just a very rugged, good fighter. But when they mention him as Hall of Famer, they need to stick away from talking about people he lost to. You mentioned Eric Morales, they're like, well, Eric's a great fighter that lost to Manny Pacquiao and lost to Antonio Barrera. You're thinking to yourself, okay, so he's a Hall of Famer because he lost to those guys. They need to make their case even better. Duran, the same thing. Duran has lost to every big name there is in boxing during his time. He lost to Leonard. He lost to Hagler. He lost to Hearns. He lost to Hector Camacho. It's just basic, like, okay, he's great. Then they need to stop talking to him in among these guys. Keep him in the lightweight division when he was wrecking havoc. Don't bring him up in the Four Kings. That's my personal belief. Not Hearns. Hearns, big fan of Hearns. To me, I think Hearns. I'm personally biased. I think Hearns is seriously this personally the best boxer I've ever seen in my life as far as power, length, and skills. The problem I have with Hearns is that he rather slugged than really boxed. If you watch the fight with him and Leonard, the first one, the one he lost, got knocked out in, every time he decided to slug with Leonard, he would catch the worst of it. But when he had to box Leonard, he would give Leonard problems. He was winning when he was boxing. What most people don't know about Hearns is that he was mostly a boxer first in the amateurs. You know what I'm talking about? So it's when he realized he has power, he just decided, hey, what's the point of me boxing these people when I can take them out? And if you want to get knocked out, go look for a knockout. Look what happened to him against Hagler. He went for the knockout and he got knocked out. He was powerful because he was long. He had a long reach, but he was not as strong as he thought he was. Leonard was stronger than him. Hagler was stronger than him. The thing about the reason why Duran didn't knock him out when he came at Duran recklessly was because Duran didn't have the length to catch with him. That's the only reason. I think Hearns would have got knocked out by all three of those guys. He got knocked out by two of them. So, but as far if he would just stick to straight boxing, I think he would have been undefeated, gone down undefeated. And we all know his record. I think first boxer to get, to get belts in 5 division. Went all the way up in weight and still won it. So I'm getting away from the point. The point is how rank Mayweather against them. Seeing the way Leonard fought Mayweather's dad, and Mayweather being 3 times better than his dad. Dad said at the age of 16, Mayweather was giving fits when they sparred each other. From a video he had on Hustle Boss, he said at age 16, Mayweather was giving problems. So I would pick Mayweather against I'll pick Mayweather to beat Leonard. I'll pick Mayweather to beat Duran. I think Duran's not as fast is not fast enough to catch up to Mayweather. I think Duran had a problem with Leonard, who was quick-footed and good counterpuncher. As far as Hagler go, that's hard for me to go against because Hagler is so much bigger and he was strong. I mean, he was built like a weight bodybuilder. So I don't know how that fight would go. Maybe I think Hagler might be too strong. As far as skill go, I don't think Hagler is he's on the same pace as Mayweather. I think it would be dumb for anyone to say Hagler is more skillful than Mayweather. But as far as stronger and more durable, I mean, he took a straight right from Hearns. And my boy stood up and gave it right back. So I don't know how Mayweather would fare against Hagler and Hearns. But as far as Leonard, stylistically, and Duran, I'll pick him to win. Easy. And I know people's going to be hurt when I say easy. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'd like to hear from, leave comments. Let me know where you rank them in the so-called 4 Kings. And that's it. Thanks.